got a 2006 Dodge Charger. It has a 2.7 liter engine, and it has a code here, a P0882, which is the TCM power input is low. Okay, now what would happen with this vehicle is the customer would drive it and it would be okay, maybe for a day or even 2 days, and they would not experience any type of problem. Then suddenly it would go into fail-safe mode. The check engine light would come on, and the vehicle will go into fail-safe mode. It would throw this code, which is again the P0882 code. TCM is losing its power, which is the transmission control module. Okay, now the way this worked, and I can consult it with ATSG, the TCM sends voltage to a relay, and it energizes the relay, and then the relay sends voltage back to the TCM and to other parts of the TCM, you know, through various wires. So what he figured is perhaps maybe the relay was bad. Okay, let's see here. But me, I never get those easy diagnostics where the relay is bad only. I wish it was, but I didn't get it. Open up this hood. Okay, here's the Dodge Charger. Alright. The transmission control relay for this box is right here. This is the transmission control relay. The computer sends a voltage and energizes this relay. The relay in turn, which is connected to, one part of it is connected to a fuse voltage, sends the power back to the TCM. That allows the TCM to see that it actually turned the relay on. Okay, now what I have is the TCM. Now the TCM was down in here. I pulled it out, and what I am doing, right here we have a yellow with a brown tracer here. This yellow with the brown tracer is the TCM sending voltage to this relay, here. Now this yellow with the orange tracer is the relay sending its information back, or voltage back, to the TCM. Okay? Now, if the TCM loses power, what I wanted to see is if it was because of a bad relay, a tricky relay really, that won't show me that it's bad with the regular testing, or is it that the computer loses its signal? Now what I did, I tested this relay, and there's ways of testing it. It's on YouTube, how to test a relay. See if it's clicking, and also check for continuity. Okay, I did that. Okay, but I'm showing you another way that I'm testing, because I don't trust that relay. It could be telling the truth, it may not. What I have done is, right now I got a ground wire running here, and this ground wire is running all the way inside the car. I'll tell you why later. And then I have some wires here. One is tied into the computer signal, to the relay, and one is tied to the relay signal back to the computer, or which is this one here. Okay, and I have the computer just sitting there. Now I have these wires running with this ground wire all the way into the vehicle. This is so that I can test it while it's actually riding. Okay, and I'll shut this down. Okay. Guys, chart. Now on the inside, I have 2 meters. Right now the vehicle is running. On the inside of this, I have 2 meters. Two digital volt-ohm meters. Okay. Now, both of these are connected to the black ground wire, but I have the red wire of one of the meters connected to the computer input, and I have the other meter connected to the relay output voltage. So the yellow one, the fluke, is connected to the computer input to the relay. And what I've done, I put it on the min-max feature. And it showed me at one time this went to 14.6. Now it's recording right now. Let me turn this off and redo it. Okay, min max. Okay, what the min max feature does on the fluke, it will catch the highest signal and catch the lowest signal. Okay. On the other meter, which I got this red one, just a Harbor Freight meter, that's just showing me the relay. Okay, now signal that's going back to the computer, so the computer can see that it turned the relay on. Now, if the TCM is actually the culprit where it loses voltage or it stops sending the signal, then it will turn the relay off and both of these meters will go to 0. Or the relay will go to 0 and the fluke, which is the yellow meter, what it's going to do, it may not go to 0, it may drop to a voltage so low that it can't turn the relay on. In that case, then the red meter will go to 0 because the relay will shut off. Okay, now if it's the relay and not the computer, then what's going to happen is, as you see that it went to 12. I don't know why I did that, but if you see the, okay, if it's the relay, excuse me, if it's the relay, then the red meter is going to go to 0, and then we will see the yellow meter still sending a voltage signal trying to turn it on. Now that's if the relay is bad. Okay, so let me say that again. I got 2 meters here. One is connected to the computer, sending the voltage to the relay. The other one is connected to the relay, sending the voltage back to the computer, which is the red one. All right. If the computer loses a signal or has a very low signal that is sending to the relay, then what's going to happen is the red meter is going to go to 0. And the yellow meter is going to either go to 0 or go very low. because it's the one that's controlling the red meter. However, if it is the relay that's bad, then the red meter is going to go to 0. But the yellow meter is going to still show a good strong voltage, because it's the one that's trying to control the relay to turn it on. Now this is how I'm checking it, and I'm driving with it this way. And this is a way, if you needed to check something, you can check it. Now I've been driving it for at least 2 days now, and I have yet to see any problem. But if this is the issue, I definitely will catch it this way, if this is the issue. Because this is in the passenger seat, and I'm driving, listening to the signals and looking at the meter at the same time. Now, I did take the relay out and test it and repositioned it. Maybe that will solve the issue. It could be a bad battery. They've had the battery in here a while. I've had situations where a dead cell in the battery caused all type of weird problems, caused things to lose power. One customer had a battery in there for 8 years, never changed it, you know, and it had a dead cell. It would start up the car, but it couldn't run the electrical systems properly. Okay, so as you get a chance to see how you can hook something up. Now, some people would look at this as being a little cumbersome, because you're hooking all these meters up and testing things this way. As you can see, I got the wires running through the window there. But me, I don't care. If I have to try to get down to the bottom of something, then this is how I test. Now, again, 2 days I've been driving this. I have not seen anything at all of any problem. It hasn't shown anything. What I expect this to happen, or what I expect to happen, is that when this go very low, the check engine light should come on, but I should see the meter goes low or something turn off over here, if the computer doesn't see this signal. Okay, so once again, I'm only showing you how I'm testing this P0882 code. Okay. One other thing I do want to say. I remember I was watching it was a court show, and there was a customer that had a complaint against someone who was a mechanic shop that was testing the car, and he complained that the person had road tested their vehicle and put maybe 100 or 150 miles on a car. And the judge looked over at the bailiff and said, the chief never heard that before, and asked the bailiff if the bailiff have heard that before. The bailiff shook his head. No, he hasn't heard that before. So they made it appear like the mechanic was telling a lie or something. Let me tell you something. Right now, I told you, I've driven this car for 2 days, and I haven't had an issue. But the customer has had an issue, and the customer would drive 50 miles or so and don't have an issue, and then all of a sudden have an issue. So therefore, it is very, very likely that at some point you may have to drive that car for 100 miles, 150, 200 miles. But because the judge was ignorant to what we do as mechanics, the judge made it seem like he wasn't telling the truth. So therefore, I'm going to show you now that if you ever get into a situation where you stand before a judge, then you have to hold your ground and tell the judge they don't know what they're talking about. And here in this video, I can tell you, you do sometimes have to keep a car and test drive it until this ghost of a problem show up, because these are type of problems that people do not like to fix, because you don't see them and they don't come all the time. Okay, so that's the last I want to tell you on that. But the only reason I'm showing you this is so that you can see that there is another way of trying to find this code, which is probably a better way if you can't get the relay to tell you anything.